We've got a new statement from former President Donald Trump. ALX tweets, Trump, World War III has never been closer than it is right now. Quote, take a look at the globalist warmonger donors backing our opponents. That's because they're candidates of war. I am the president who delivers peace, and it's peace through strength. I think he's taking a swipe right there at DeSantis. But I got to be honest, that's probably the most tactful swipe he could have taken. Ron DeSanctimonious, and they're trying to claim he called him Meatball Ron, which is way better. I got to be honest, Meatball Ron is better than Ron DeSanctimonious, but I don't think Trump said that. I think he denied it. But let me play a little bit of this clip from Donald Trump for you. Not the full thing, it's 4 minutes, but we'll give you part of his statement here. Stop the warmongers and globalists.
World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America Last globalists and the deep state, the Pentagon, the State Department, and the national security industrial complex. One of the reasons I was the only president in generations who didn't start a war is that I was the only president who rejected the catastrophic advice of many of Washington's generals, bureaucrats, and the so-called diplomats who only know how to get us into conflict, but they don't know how to get us out. For decades, we've had the very same people, such as Victoria Nuland and many others just like her, obsessed with pushing Ukraine toward NATO, not to mention the State Department support for uprisings in Ukraine. These people have been seeking confrontation for a long time, much like the case in Iraq and other parts of the world, and now we're teetering on the brink of World War III. And a lot of people don't see it, but I see it, and I've been right about a lot of things. They all say Trump's been right about everything. None of this excuses...
They all say.
Thank you.
Who is they, though?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
What's Trump trying to say?
I watched this video until that moment and shut it off earlier as well. Right after he said, quote, they all say Trump's been right about everything. This hyperbolic madness is not... poised for office. I'm sorry, the guy's not stable.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Complete idiocy to say that kind of thing. Expect to be the president.
Excuse me, wrong.
Everyone says I'm the greatest at everything. Like, who the hell talks like that?
Trump does.
Trump.
Look, man.
Hell? No, it's a lie. That's not a true statement. He's a liar.
Hyperbole and lies are distinct.
Yes, hyperbole can be a lie as well.
I mean, Trump being boastful and talking like that is kind of something I would roll my eyes at. But I got to be real. With the East Palestine stuff, with seeing Joe Biden go to Ukraine, I'm like, I'm voting for Trump. Like Ron DeSantis has the tact. He's got good policy. He's done great for Florida. But just like this was such an unnerving move that Joe Biden did with this Ukraine trip. It was like getting punched in the balls as hard as possible. And we need a bloviating braggart like Trump who really will go down to East Palestine if that's what it takes. Like I like Ron DeSantis, but he does, I don't know, man, I can't explain it. It's like Ron DeSantis has done a really good job. He's given us a lot of what we want. We've seen a lot of tremendous success, but he's a VP. He's a commander. He's a lieutenant. He's a number one. Donald Trump is the crazy guy who's like, get me a plane. I'm flying to East Palestine right now. And Joe Biden's the guy who says, whatever my boss tells me to do, I'll go do, and then gives away our money. And then Ron DeSantis is the guy who's like, yeah, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna get what people want. But that's a COO, not a CEO. Trump's a CEO. DeSantis is a COO. For those that understand corporate structure, you get exactly what I mean. The COO handles the directives of the CEO. The CEO, which is Trump, says, we've got to do this, make it happen.
It seems like
then you get a DeSantis who understands and he executes.
It seems like a lesser of two evils argument. I don't really know how he's going to be able to separate himself from the lockdowns. I mean, but again, lesser of two evils is something that some people go by. I've never been able to fall into that.
It's true. And a lot of people have, everybody says, they're all saying, how does Trump get past? He was a lockdown guy. Initially, he was the president. He wouldn't intervene in the states' decisions to keep states locked down. DeSantis did lock down initially as well. So I would rebut with that, I guess. Trump said we're going to shut down 15 days to slow the spread. DeSantis agreed. Then DeSantis reversed. Trump, as the president, didn't have the power to force states to do anything. Arguably, he could invoke some, emergency powers. When it came to the Summer of Love, he could have, invoked the Insurrection Act and shut down these riots. And if he did, could have prevented 30 plus deaths, which he should have done. But I'm just saying, man, based on his foreign policy, I am worried, as Trump points out. DeSantis does have these warmongers, these internationalists, these investment neocon establishment shills getting behind him. I'm not going to blame DeSantis for that. It's what he does with the money. But I gotta say, like, with the East Palestine situation, I'm not convinced that Ron DeSantis would be a Trump in this regard. Trump is the guy who flies there and says, I'm going to visit these people. Biden's the guy who says, don't know, don't care, let them rot for all I care.
It's surprising that every presidential candidate isn't going there, because that's like a requirement. You have to go there.
Not Nikki Haley either.
Right.
Trump was the one who announced he was going. I don't know if he did yet, but still, I'm like, I'll take it. If that's what we get. My view of Trump is that there's probably a lot better people who could be president, but I really do feel like you're more likely to get a politician. You vote for Trump and you know what you're getting, and I think he really does like this country. I also think he's got an ego problem.
Do you know what you're getting, though? Because, we heard a lot of love for WikiLeaks in the run-up to, his presidency, but then, nothing after he got elected. So he loves WikiLeaks when they're helping him. But
exactly. You know Trump is going to bloviate. He's going to say things that he think will work for his base, and there's no guarantee that happens. But you do know he wants to build a wall. He's going to Ann Coulter was complaining that he didn't build the wall, and I'm like, the dude was trying. Like, I really do think Trump was trying. I can respect she's mad that we didn't get the wall, and she said, only hundreds of miles of fencing or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, he got triple layer bollard fencing in key areas. It's like, man, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, it is lesser of two evils argument.
Yeah, I don't even know if I feel like feel it that way. Like, Trump is different from the lesser of two evils. Mitt Romney and Obama was the lesser of two evils. Trump is something outside the picture who's probably going to do a bunch of dumb stuff, but his ego won't let him let Americans down. Like, here's what I think. Trump's ego is massive, probably the biggest on the planet. And you can say it's a problem. He's also very arrogant. But this means he's also desperate for the love and admiration of the American people. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that right there matters. Biden doesn't give a crap at all. He knows people hate him, but the media is going to cover for him anyway, so he can abandon the American people to go fly to Ukraine. Trump, on the other hand, desperately wants people to love him. So much so he puts his name everywhere to make sure people know who he is. He's got daddy issues. But you can count on that for him to do what he can to make you say, I like you, Trump. And that's, hey, if it's narcissism at the root, but he's desperately trying to convince you that he's awesome, I'll take it. Because Biden certainly ain't doing it. He's leaving you to die.
I believed that about Trump until he became president day 2 and went on script and started reading off a prompter. When he was like off book for the whole run up to the election during the process, and it was like got exciting. I didn't even want him to be president, but it was like at least someone's being honest. And then I see his eyeballs tracking the prompter as he's talking, and he's talking like this, and that is not how Donald Trump talks. I'm like, oh my God!
Well, he has to come. He has to come here. That's the only way that you can really press him. So
maybe
he should.
Maybe I'll fly out for the Friday morning show and interview Trump.
That'd be cool.
That's a thing.
He should come here.
Well, it's just not. This is the other challenge.
But he should be willing to, because he should want to reach these people.
Yeah, but maybe if I had the ego and arrogance of Trump, and don't get me wrong, like I got ego and arrogance for sure, but not enough to be like Donald Trump should be in my studio. You know what I mean? Like,
it's logistical
but to
too,
feel the
right?
culture, like he should want to connect. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not worth his time. It's like, I don't know.
Donald Trump should be honored at the thought of me letting him come here and sit in this studio.
I think he needs to show up.
A 2-hour conversation for 1 million people would be well worth his time.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I think that Trump didn't get everything he said he would done, and that is disappointing to some people. Like, I personally feel like maybe it would have been nice to get some more progress on border security and the wall. I think he did do some things. I can be disappointed that it wasn't as much as I'd like. But I think the economy was strong under him. I think that there were a lot of positives to the Trump presidency, and COVID was a very unusual way to go out that unfortunately, has put him in a weird position going into 2024. I think that the hardest thing about the Trump presidency was that he was so good at captivating his audience when he was campaigning, and then when he got into the White House, it's hard for me not to think that he switched out who was around him and that he was often misled by bad advice. And I would be afraid going into 24, if he was elected again, that he would again give seats to advisors who maybe don't have his best interests or the best interests of his base at heart. And that is nerve-wracking as a voter to say, like, do we try again? It's not that we shouldn't. I mean, especially given that he is willing to go to East Palestine when at least 2 Biden officials were at least planning, like Biden did leave the country, the head of the EPA was going to, and then was like, oh, just kidding, I'll stay here and deal with Ohio. I mean, the Biden administration's legacy in the past 3 years, or however long he's been in, is not good. And I think one bad year of Trump versus everything he accomplished, so, it's kind of clear who would be a stronger candidate.
I'm hearing that Trump's going to be there tomorrow. I don't know. Has anyone
That's
heard?
what I heard too, but he hasn't officially released a date. It's like the EPA just rushed in to beat him there.
Alad, if you're listening, you want to go to Ohio and check this out.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get Alad Eliyahu, see if he's interested in going down there, and that'd be really, really cool. I like DeSantis. I think he's doing really well on culture war issues, but this is the kind of stuff that I'll say it again. Trump is a CEO. He's the visionary. He's got the plan, but he's kind of, the COO is the guy in the suit who executes the vision of the CEO and knows how to navigate that system to get the job done. So
yeah, a good CEO can do that without a COO. If you have a large company, you're going to need someone to organize, but a good CEO can do all the positions of the company.
Right. And I think Donald Trump is a good CEO, but I don't think Ron DeSantis is. I think Ron DeSantis is a COO. I'm not speaking ill of Trump's abilities. I'm saying I think DeSantis has proven very, very well that he's a good leader, but it feels to me like with a story like this, I don't know. Trump feels like the guy after all
this. There could be a dark horse that is completely outside the realm that we're not thinking about.
For sure.
No, but like
John Bolton.
But fully outside. In the same way that Trump was an outsider, like, who's someone that is intellectual and has an absolutely massive following that could come in and stir things up? Well, yeah, exactly. He would never do it.
Yay.
But I mean, he's smart, but I don't know if I'd call him an intellectual. Like, where is he? What, if he really wants this, why would he give out on this show, for instance? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no. He's not interested.
Apparently, Buttigieg he's rushing there now.
I'm telling you, the federal government is reacting to Trump saying he was going to be there. Trump said this Friday night, and they're like, oh goodness, we have to beat him there, because if he goes, especially to a county he won twice, in a state he won twice, and then is like, I am here for you, and the Biden administration, not even the Biden administration, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, anyone who might seek to replace Biden, it's an unbeatable moment for Trump, and it would mean a lot to the people who voted him in, or who voted for him in the first place.
Trump should show up with a checkbook and just start writing $1,000 checks to locals.
And make a viral video of it, dude.
And Ben Johnson's like, that was my move.
Oh, no, you can be like, shout out to Benny Johnson did it first, but it was a tremendous idea, so we're going to do it.
I bet a lot of these people were getting advice that in the last 2 weeks, if you go there and there's dioxins in the air, you could very well get lymphoma, some sort of skin cancer, and die. Like, that could end your life kind of fear. I think there's a lot of that, which is just even more sickening that has been radio silence.
They wouldn't have been so scared that, they would have stayed outside the town probably, and at least even going to the general area would have helped them. So I don't think that they were actually concerned for their health.
I was for my own personal health. I actually didn't want to go because I was like, I don't want to breathe that in.
There's a picture that the Ohio EPA put up of like the director of the Ohio EPA, the lieutenant governor of Ohio, like holding plastic cups with water in them. They're like, they're drinking the water, it's fine. But I just kept thinking, why isn't it a video? Like, why aren't you showing me them actually drinking it? There might be one circulating around, but they're saying things to assuage fears by also still not doing anything.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out. and we'll see you all next time.